Welcome to BunniPhish Crafts. I'm your host Heather, known as BunniPhish on Revelry, Instagram, YouTube, and Patreon. Today is Monday, the 25th of November. That one. 2019. This is episode 55, I think. How was your week? My week was a week. Not particularly terrible or anything, just so busy. And it was kind of terrible on Friday. On Thursday, I came home and I wasn't feeling great. So I went to sleep at about 6:30, which was like 10 minutes after we got home because Thursday was a day. It was just a really long day. So on Friday, I woke up and I had a horrible migraine. It was so bad that Patrick sent me back to bed and he took the kids to school. But it had a silver lining because then after he took the kids to school, he went to a local bakery and bought me some donuts because donuts mean love, obviously. So this bakery, it's called Willie's Donuts. Oh my goodness. They have cannoli donuts. Shut up. They're exactly what they sound like, except like the donut is this big and the cannoli filling is about this much. It's so full of cannoli filling. So full. Like as you're eating it, the cannoli filling is spilling out of the donut. Oh, it's brilliant. So, so good. It was so good that on Saturday, I had a not so great morning. I was scheduled to teach out at the faraway store, but the class had been canceled. Nobody told me that the class had been canceled. So I drove to the faraway store thinking I was going to have a class, and then I did not have a class. So that was kind of annoying, but whatever, it's fine. It's just annoying.
Lost my train of thought there and never got back to the story. So the story was I was grumpy and then we went to the donut shop and picked up a bunch of donuts. We got another cannoli donut and some macarons to share and a strawberry shortcake pastry thing that was amazing. And then we spent the day cuddled on the couch, all of us, in rotation. I was always in the same spot, but the dog, the boyfriend, and the boy child all were in various spaces on the futon. It's not a couch.
So administrative things. Well, ornaments should be going out by now, and they should be posted in the Ravelry group. Should be. I have not posted yet the ornament that I have received. I'm very, very sorry. I'm a slacker, but I will. I did post the mittens last week with notes. So apparently I could only do one Ravelry thing. I'm sorry. I will get it up this week, I promise. Because it's beautiful. I did Instagram it, so there is that. Also, the finisher frog is going on. And oh my gosh, not administrative, but life. The people next door have their yard work done not on a schedule. And their yard work is being done right now, and they're having something cut down with a chainsaw. And I have a really hard time thinking with that sound in the background. I don't even know if you can hear it, but I can hear it. So if I seem more distracted than usual, that is what is going on. So Finisher Frog is going on in the Ravelry group. Anything that you finish or frog between November 1st and December 31st counts towards a prize. I have a beautiful skein of cattails yarn that will be for the finished thread, the finish/frog thread. The next time I see you will be December, whether it's for a full episode or for Vlogmas, which I will be taking part in. I almost said Vlogtober. that's not what it's going to be. So I will be doing Vlogmas, and I'm super, super excited. I think I'm actually going to record some of the first episode today because with Vlogmas comes advent calendars, and I have a couple to show you. So I think I'm going to record that. Maybe not today, probably before um, Saturday. Is Saturday the 1st, or is it Sunday? I think Sunday is the 1st. I think so. So yeah, it's going to be really exciting. And I have such cool things to show you. I did not buy an advent calendar. Well, I bought 2 chocolate advent calendars for my kids, but I have, I participated in some swaps and stuff, so it'll be really exciting. So on to finished objects. I have one, and I have one thing that's very, very near finished, but it's not. Oh, let's talk about this really quick. This is the sockhead hat by, I want to say Kelly McClure, but I might be making that up. I don't know. I didn't make it. Haley made it for me because I don't make sockhead hats. I've made one. I guess I could be convinced to make another one. Did I make 1 or 2? I made them for Becca. I mean, it would be fine work knitting. It's just not something that I would love to make. So what I did finish is this hat. I started it on, where's the cable? I started it on Thursday on my epic long day. I started it with this pink color. I took it into, I had it with me at the school. I started it after lunch. I knit all of the pink, had the recipient try it on, and it was too big. It was 44 stitches. I didn't use a pattern. And it was 2x2 rib. So for this one, I did 40 stitches and did 1x1 rib. Did a provisional cast on. Here's the hat. Did a provisional cast on. Worked the entire scrap of that pink yarn that I had. It is Lion Brand Hometown USA in, I want to say azaleas. I might be making that colorway up. So I just worked it until I had used all of the pink, and then I knit the working side with the provisionally cast on side to close it up, so that's double thick. And then the top part is Lion Brand Woolies Thick and Quick. I don't know the color, maybe charcoal. I don't think it's gray marble. And I was just gonna do a regular stockinette hat, but I kind of wanted it to be a little more interesting. So this is for the social worker at my children's school, aka my daughter's BFF. My daughter is obsessed with her, loves her to pieces. If she's, not doing great, that's who she wants to see. And this social worker recently cut off all of her hair right before, I guess it was at the beginning of the school year, but right before it got cold. So now she's cold, and so I'm making her a hat. And life update. So my daughter in kindergarten, she's in 3rd grade now. In kindergarten, she needed a lot of support at the school. Just a hard time transitioning to people and stuff because I was a stay-at-home mom with her for her whole life. And we went to parks and we went to the library and stuff, but that's not the same environment as a school. So she had a really hard time. And now the social worker still checks in with my daughter, maybe not every day, but a couple times a week. But my daughter almost never needs to go with her. She just gives her a quick hug and then goes back to class, which is so great. It's so cool how different people are over time. And obviously I realize that I'm different over time too, but children, it's so much more immediate to see the change. It's so cool. As I was working on this hat, she wanted a beanie, not a slouchy hat. So I was working away and working away. And then I looked at, after this final cable, I was like, I wonder how well this would fit. So I put it up against my hand and I was like, uh-oh, getting into the like slouch range of hats. So I did very rapid decreases. It was 40 stitches and I decreased 8 stitches every round down to 8 stitches. So that's the crown decreases. So that was over what, 4 rounds, I guess, to make this hat. And I will be giving this to her today, either when I see her or I'll just put it in her mailbox at school so she can have it. Hopefully she likes it. Pink's her favorite color, which is why I went with pink. And then I had this scrap of gray. I don't have a ton of leftover chunky yarn. I did at one point in time have a lot of chunky yarn, which I used to make a blanket. And then that's going to be a theme. You'll see that here in a little bit, as I'm being super rude-ish and looking down to work on what's in my lap. But I don't have a huge stash of it left, and what I have left is not the super colorful stuff. I mean, I do have some small scraps of colorful yarn, but a lot of neutrals. So hence the pink with the gray, because I didn't have enough pink to make a hat, and I didn't really want to go out and buy pink yarn when I had some pink yarn and I had enough to make a hat. So that's what I decided to do.
I finished the Diamond Dots painting that I started last week. Honestly, I did not enjoy the process, but just because I don't have a dedicated space where I could leave it set up, I could see how it could be very meditative if you didn't have to get everything out and then pack everything up when you wanted to work on it.
My almost finished object is so close. So here is the first zipper lexicon sock, and this one is finished because it's just going to be a shorty, and it is blocked, kind of, except my sock blockers are too small for my socks. I have to weave in 2 ends, I think, and then this sock is finished. The second sock is really, really close to finished. It looks a little bit like a porcupine right now because I had to set it down to go do all of the things this morning. I left my phone at my mom's house last night. We went over there for dinner and I left my phone. So I had to go and get my phone because phones rule the world, unfortunately. Mostly I needed it because I needed to load my gas card and I don't have a physical copy of my gas card. My boyfriend has the physical copy of the gas card, but he needed gas. So I needed to load the gas card, which I only have in app form, and he didn't have enough gas to get home. So I had to go get my phone this morning. So I had to drop everything so I could go do that when I took my kids to school and stuff. And then I immediately ran a couple errands and came home to record this podcast so I could get it up at some point. Okay, so this is what I have left to bind off. This needle right here, and then 2 stitches on one of these needles down here. Almost done. Almost done with the bind off. And then I just have the toe. I'm going to start the toe before I go to work. I have about an hour and a half before I need to be working. So I don't have a lot to say on this podcast, so that should be quick. And then I should be able to, in an hour and a half, finish binding off and knit a toe. That is my plan. Yeah, so really, really close. This pattern, I don't know why my sister's version of these socks took so long, because I timed myself on the second to last motif, and it only takes me 25 minutes. I started the motif at 6:07, I finished it at 6:32, and in that time I had a conversation about uniforms with my son. I was watching a podcast. I mean, I was knitting the whole time, but I wasn't just like zeroed in knitting on this sock. So it only took 25 minutes to make this hexagon. And the ones on the feet take even less time because there are a few less rows in them, maybe just a couple less rows. I don't know. So those would take even less time to do. So overall, a really quick knit. I just need to finish them so I can have them off the needles because it is getting dangerously close to the end of the month and when I want to have things finished. So other things that I have been working on this week. Oh, this yarn is Manos del Uruguay 50. That's the main color in this sock. And then this blue color is, I want to make sure that I say this correctly. It's this craft or that in the Caribbean colorway, and it's a 85 superwash merino wool 15% nylon blend. The Manos doesn't have any nylon in it, so I wanted to make sure to do heels and toes with nylon. This project, oh, and this is my Sewn by Lindsay bag. This is my Stitch by Jessalou bag. This is a sidewinder mitt. So I have two. This is a mini skein of 716 knit that I got off of the Knit Buffalo truck at the ZK. So I don't know the colorway, but it's beautifully and speckly. And then this one is the ZK 2015 maybe, exclusive colorway. I made stitch punkery socks out of them, so I have a leftover. And I have just about 40 grams between the two yarns, and my sample weighed 34 grams, so I'm hoping it's enough to make a pair of mitts, but I'm kind of worried that I'm going to run out. So I hand wound this mini into a ball so that I could count how many stripes I had, and I have 8 full stripes and then one little bit on one end and one little bit on the other end. So as you can see, I've already used half of my yarn. I've just now put in the thumb gusset. I might have to be a little creative in giving this some length. I might have to pull out another mini. I don't know. And those of you who have made the pattern know that the gusset actually goes in the ribbing section, but I have put the gusset in the garter stitch section on this mitt because I have more of the remnant than I do of the stripy one. So we'll see how it goes. Who knows? Next week you'll see. Next week you'll see how they turn out. But I really am enjoying how these yarns are working up together. I just think Jenna's yarns are so, so beautiful. In love with that. My last work in progress this week is the Santa doll that I'm making based off of Rocco the Raccoon, which is a pattern by Lydia Tresselt. So this is what I have. I had the head for a long time, head and hands. I finished the hood, which is way too big. So big. I was working on it, and I was working on a part where you just work straight, and I was like, wow, that looks really, really big. So I tried it on, and I ended up stopping several rounds short and then adding the decrease section in a brim color. So I think it'll be fine though. It's just to sit on a shelf. It's not to be like really messed with. I don't think it's, I mean, it's a little bit noticeable. Probably now that I've told you, it's all that you can see, but I don't think it'll be too noticeable on a shelf. The yarn that I used for that is Cattails yarn, the brown Aja colorway for the skin, and the hood and the rest of it is this, which is Peyton's lace and Peyton's lace sequins. I don't remember if there's something else after this, but this is a white to almost black long color change yarn. And then this is red with sequins. My sister bought me a ton of yarn right after I learned how to knit, probably a year after I learned how to knit. And she bought me that stuff, and it has mohair in it, and mohair makes me itchy. So I can't use it for anything I'm going to wear, but I think in a decoration it'll be really cute, especially with the sequins. So that's why I'm using that. And then the other work in progress I have is a ripple blanket. I'm not using a pattern. I kind of just made something up on the fly. I don't even know how many I crocheted. I crocheted until I was like, that's probably wide enough. So I have, it's 5 stitches and then an increase and then 5 stitches and then a decrease, which gives it the ripple on one row, and that's done with double crochet. And then on the return row, it's just single crochet. So the reason I'm making this is because I, in the past week, no joke, have been given from several different sources at least 6 of these Bernat blanket yarns. And I know that some of them were given to me to use with my students at the school, but I have received 2 giant garbage bags worth of yarn for my students in the past week. So I kind of want to make a cozy, comfy blanket out of the blanket yarn. So that's what I'm doing. I started with this. I don't know if I'm going to, they're all different colors, so I don't know how I'm going to stripe them. I don't think that I'm going to like do a particular stripe repeat. I think I'm going to work with a color until I'm bored with it and then change colors. Right now I am working with this ivy color, which is more of like a sea foamy aqua-y color than anything I would call ivy, but that's just me. And I'm using a size N crochet hook for this, and I think I can finish this by the end of the year. That's my plan. So I I'm going to talk about this way more in Vlogmas, but since this is the last episode before I start Vlogmas, and I don't know how many regular episodes I'm going to get out during Vlogmas, I'm going to try for at least 2, because I know that when I'm doing daily vlogs, I am less likely to record full episodes, but I'm going to shoot for 2. And I don't know when those are going to be. So in case you're on the fence about whether you want to watch my Vlogmas, I'm definitely going to be covering the things that we do day to day around the house, around the neighborhood, around wherever we are, a little bit in the run up to the holiday. And I am going to, I have some advent calendars, some different types of advent calendars. So we'll be doing that probably with the children, because they also have advent calendars. They have chocolate advent calendars. And then my plan as far as projects go is I have a couple gifts that I still need to make. One of which I'm still waiting on the yarn to come, and it should be here any day now. So I have a couple of gifts that I'll be working on, and then I'm thinking I'm going to work on just some works in progress that I've had forever. I don't have a ton of things that I really want to cast on and finish in December, so I'm thinking of picking up the log cabin blanket. I'm thinking of finally stitching on the advent calendar that I started making forever ago. And I'm planning on doing a lot of modular knitting because I have some minis that I have received over the past week, which I will show you on the first day. And I'm expecting a few more minis. So yeah, I think I'm going to do a lot of modular knitting because I don't want my mini skein stash to get ginormous and them not be used. So I'm planning on working on my blankets a lot and this blanket and just having like a blanket December. I know that means I'm not going to be finishing and frogging a ton of things in December, but I'm okay with that. I'm okay with the idea of just being cozy. A lot of cozy, a ton of um, not a ton of projects, which is also why I think it's going to be more like 2 episodes rather than 4 or 5 episodes, depending on how the weeks fall. And I really look forward to that. I really like working on my scrappy projects a lot, which is why I have the small things knit along in summertime, and I kind of just want to do that again. I mean, I would anyway because Haley and I trade minis, so I would be using Haley minis anyway. But I kind of want to make that a priority to work on some of those projects and to work on languishing whips. So that's my plan for December. The last thing is my reading, which was not great this week. I was really, really busy. I was sick a couple days, which when I'm sick, I sleep. I don't, my body is just like, nope, hibernate. Fix this, go to bed. So I didn't read a ton. I did do I did more than 70 pages of reading on The Once and Future King yesterday, which I'm in the second book now. So the first book is all what The Sword and the Stone, the Disney movie, is kind of loosely based on. The second book, which I think is called The Queen of Air and Darkness, I could be making that up. Um, the second book is slower for me. There's less magic and less adventure and more war crafting, which is not my type of story. So it's okay, but it's going slower for me. So I feel like those 70 pages crawled yesterday. Still read them though. I'm gonna read all of them. Um, maybe maybe once the court is established with the round table and everything. The second book, the part that I've read so far, is after he pulls the sword from the stone. That's the end of the first book, and he becomes king. So the second book, the part that I've been reading so far, has been a lot of war crafting where he's like trying to figure out what he wants his kingdom to be, and he hasn't met Guinevere yet. He hasn't met most of his knights yet. So yeah, it's a lot of war. Hopefully the segment I read next week will be really good. I also um, did not finish the book with the swear word in it, but I did read a little bit of it at the beginning of the week, and then I just got too busy. And I'm still finding a lot of value in what I'm reading. I don't enjoy that there is profanity sprinkled blithely throughout. It's just not my personal taste, but the cover has a swear word right on it. So like I'm not mad at the book. I'm not like, oh, I didn't expect this. I just don't love it personally. But I am enjoying the the message and the thoughts that are provoked. Um, Hopefully I will finish that this week. I did not start the No House to Call My Home book, which I said was going to be top priority for reading. It's due, I think, tomorrow. I'm just going to return it. I may check it out later. It's a book that I put on hold just because I put a lot of LGBTQ books on hold at one time. And I have one right here. And I'm much more interested in reading this one than I am in reading that one. So maybe I'll put that one on hold again. I don't know. But right now is just not the time for it, which is fine. I don't think I'm going to make my goal of reading 5 nonfiction books. I would have to read 3 of them in the next 5 days, which is not impossible. I mean, this book is pretty short. It is only, with the index, 190 pages. This book is probably, yeah, there's giant pictures throughout this book taking up much of the pages, and it is only, not that you really care, it's only with photography credits, 205 pages. So those are both pretty short. I finished one. I have a second one that I could finish pretty easily if I focused on it, the swear word book. And then, you know, this looks pretty short too. Um, this is less than 200 pages. Oh, 207 pages. But it also has a fair amount of page art. So maybe I can still meet my goal. I'm not going to give up until, you know, it is December 1st. Like proper December 1st. Like I went to sleep on November 30th and now it's December 1st because with the way my sleep has been going, it's a toss whether I will be asleep before midnight. Who knows? Not me, that's for sure. Okay, I think that's all I have for you this week. If you have any questions about anything, let me know down below. Comments, concerns. I'd love to hear what you were working on while you were watching or drinking or anything. I love chatting with you guys. I love the conversation. Are you planning on doing any sort of Vlogmas? Who is your favorite vlogger during Vlogmas? I would love to hear that because I love Vlogmas so much. Even if I don't watch them all now, I go back throughout the year and watch all of them. I am watching Amy Florence's back catalog right now, and I'm getting really close to her first Vlogmas. I'm excited for that. I just love Vlogmas. So let me know who you're watching. Yeah, that's all I have for you this week. So discombobulated today. It's fine. It's fine. I will see you guys, well, in 5 days for sure. 6 days for sure. Somewhere around there, depending on when this gets uploaded and edited and stuff. I will see you then. Bye.